invested in women's wellness. I'm a firm believer that when women are well, everything is well. When we know who we are, when we know what we're worth, when we know how to put boundaries in place, everything works. So I actually came into wellness because I was unwell, and I was not consciously unwell. My life was great on paper. I went to a lot of prestigious schools, and I traveled, and I had money in the bank. My mother taught me how to look good, so I knew how to present myself very well. But as far as it came to internal wellness, I was not okay. I struggled with insomnia and anxiety, and seeking rest is actually what brought me to wellness. And so I started off, of course, to move forward, sometimes you have to go back. So I started dealing with a lot of my childhood issues and a lot of my childhood brokenness and some of the things that I had learned that were not serving me very well. And I really started learning about why it's so important that women are well. So I had always had permission as a woman, but more specifically as a Black woman. I always had permission to talk about the failures of my mom, right? He was dysfunctional, he wasn't there, and that's his stuff. It took me a long time to tell the truth about my mom. It took me a long time to say, my father was dysfunctional, and she allowed me. My father was violent, and my mom kept trying to fix it. So she had some deficit beliefs about herself that contributed to the problem. And then had she known who she was and what she was worth, then I would have had the safety, the security that I needed as her child. So I really understand now why it is paramount that women are well. Because we are receptors, we are movers, we take things in. And not only do we take things in, but whatever we take in, it grows in us. And whatever grows in us, we birth it. So I've learned that the power of feminine energy is who allows what we allow. I had allowed some mess in my life, and I was growing in insecurity, and I was growing in anger, and I was growing in disappointment. And it took me a minute to figure out that I took that in. I took it in. And because I knew things were growing me differently. And I grew in some dysfunctional stuff, and then I was pushing out some anger in society, attacking my own body, which I was not able to rest at night. And all the dysfunction that was coming. So I'm really into conscious wellness. And when I talk about consciousness, I really mean awareness, a full awareness, using our whole mind around everything that happens in our life. Like right now, if I ask you to breathe in, you just became consciously aware of your breath. You were breathing this whole time, but I just brought that to your consciousness. And what I really work with individuals on, and work with myself on as well, is becoming conscious around the life that I create. Conscious around the thoughts that I have that create that life. The emotions and the feelings that I have that create that life. So as an integrative wellness coach, I coach people on 4 levels of wellness. They are mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical. So most times when we have an issue in our lives, it manifests in our physical lives. And that means that it manifests in our bodies or in something outside of us. So when I talk about physical things, I'm talking about your finances, your relationships, the work that you do, and I'm also talking about your physical body. So most times the sun may be bright. That is how it comes into our lives. My money's messed up, my house is a mess, this man just talked to me crazy, I hate my job. That's how we find out something is wrong. But it usually starts in our mind. So even though it comes to our awareness because I had insomnia, there were some thoughts that I had running through my mind that contributed to me having insomnia. Right? So what were the thoughts that I had? Well, I thought that my strength was in fixing and saving people. More specifically around men, more specifically around Black men. I felt like I had to sit, stay, and struggle with them even through to my own Why did I think that? My mom showed me. Okay. What else did I think? I thought that I didn't consciously think this, but subconsciously I thought that other people's needs matter more than my own. Had you asked me that, I would not have told you that this is what I actually think, but if you look at my behavior, yes, that is what I thought. So whatever it is that we think, whether it's about work, if I believe that you just gotta get that check, then I would probably do work that I don't like, right? Because I have a thought about work. If I believe that all men cheat, if I believe that good guys finish last, if I believe that women are crazy, if I believe that women will betray you, these are all thoughts that will contribute to next how I feel. My emotion. So, if I had the thought that I have to take care of other people, I would feel the need to control. I would feel stressed by other people's problems all the time. I would probably feel a lot of anxiety. If I feel like all men cheat, I would not have peace in my relationship. I would feel the need to check behind someone. I would feel nervous. I would feel angst and anger and all these. It started with the thought that I either came with on my own or that somebody else gave to me that I agreed with. Now all of this affects our spirit. Anything that goes on in our lives is a matter of spirit. So I might make all the money in the world. I might make $100,000 a year. But if I have a spirit of poverty, I will create worthless in my life, no matter how much money. If I have a spirit of worthlessness, I can have 100 people tell me you're worth, you're great, you're amazing. But because of the deeper level, I don't feel worthy, then I'm not. Spiritual wellness is so important because to me, spirit is the energy in which we do everything. I can dance. I love to dance. One of my favorite things to do. And I can just be dancing and at some point my spirit goes a little high. A lot of people experience that in church. When the choir gets a certain note, they say, "Oh God." Right? That's spirit. And being in touch with who we are as women, especially with our spirits, is so important because that's how God communicates with us. Our internal voice, when something just don't feel right. A lot of us are looking for evidence, proof of something, like we're waiting to see, why don't that feel right? When you know who you are and you're spiritually in touch with yourself, just not feeling right is enough. That's enough. So today, I want us to do our work on being more well women. Because when we're well, everyone else is. When we know who we are, our homes are safe and loving, our children are loved well, and mom is happy. I am so invested. So excited.
Okay, ladies, now let's get information. I slay. Okay, ladies, now let's get information.